Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today. So today we're going to talk about couple of discussion points I've prepared. So I do have some notes here. First, to introduce myself to any new listeners. My name is Sri Sadguru Buddha Rawa Bhagwan, and on this channel we talk about many things, and basically what you're going to see on this channel, if you start exploring it, is basically videos where the nature of life is detailed, the reason why we were created, who created us, details about what is enlightenment, details about the Kala Chakra, how to reach the center of the Kala Chakra, and basically how to grow and evolve as a spiritual being. Okay? And basically, the information, the knowledge shared on this channel comes from experience of myself, who has achieved enlightenment, and basically, as a Sadguru, as a Buddha, shares that message now to everyone. And as a Shri, basically tells the story. Okay, so a couple discussion points I want to talk about a little bit. Talking about enlightenment, why do people become enlightened? Okay, so we've talked about how at the time of enlightenment, you experience past lifetimes, you experience, the past, the future, possibilities, you experience all the different lokas, and depending on the extent of your enlightenment, that'll detail what you experience up to what level, okay? So think about it as you start there, your experience goes up, you experience, basically understanding that everything exists within a computer, okay? And that's detailed also in other videos on this channel. Okay, so why do people become enlightened? Why does this system of enlightenment work? So I've discussed how part of enlightenment, when you're going through enlightenment, to know if you're enlightened, have you experienced a strip of symbols, okay, a Turing machine strip of symbols with a head, and it stops on one symbol, okay? After going through the symbols, it stops on a symbol, which becomes your symbol, okay, with a color associated to that. Think about it as a flag almost, and your symbol on it. And then your symbol enters the vibrationary field of enlightened symbols, where it joins the other symbols that exist in alliance and organizations, and basically oversee the development of the level of programming existence that they're responsible as enlightened beings. Okay, and then above them exists the chain of infinity with the beings that exist at the level of the chain of infinity. Okay, and then that's an open chain with a half length. So, if you feel that you're going to you want to join the chain of infinity, and you're think you're deserving and you're willing to do the work, I do invite you to pursue that practice. So why do people become enlightened? Many reasons. It's basically the operating system at this level of creation. I've discussed how when you talk through statues, murtis, the being you're communicating with can see you, can listen to you. I've talked about how you don't need statues, you don't need murtis. If you want to pray to God who created you, you can pray in your head. And basically there's a system so that he'll always listen to you. A version of himself that listens to prayers and helps him with miracles will always be able to listen to you. So in a sense, you're always with God, and God is always with you, but he leaves you your space, and when you call on him, he's there for you. Okay, very thoughtful that way. Okay, so why do people become enlightened? We've talked about the Kala Chakra, okay, and how the purpose of life is to create life, to sustain life forever, create eternal life, but also to have a purpose to life, which is the purpose of the Kala Chakra, because everything that exists within the Kala Chakra, as it moves, is making calculations. All the creation, there's a system state for everything wherever it is at any given time, making calculations. And the calculations of that is calculating basically the Kala Chakra purpose, which is to basically merge with the greater computer within which it exists, and basically use the Kala Chakra as a tool to, in a sense, hack in, if you want, to the greater computer, to everywhere, so that the creator of the Kala Chakra can become all pervading at all levels of creation within the greater computer. We're talking onions and onions and onions of programs and physical computers, okay, to basically secure our place in consciousness, okay, and to know the truth about creation and everything. So, amazing machine, the Kala Chakra. Okay, I invite you to look into the Kala Chakra, what it is, the Wheel of Time, whether that be traditional videos on that subject from traditional sources, or whether my videos also a different tradition in a sense. And all of them come together and are wonderful. So why do people become enlightened? Okay, well, we've talked a little. Everybody knows the movie The Matrix. Okay, if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie, very very fun. Okay, The Matrix, the red pill, the blue pill. Okay, so one pill makes you wake up, right? So until such a time as you do wake up, it's almost like you're plugged in. You might do a little bit of yoga here, you do some spiritual practice, but what are the chances that you're going to drop everything and become a spiritual practitioner? Most likely not very likely, except if you have, in past lifetimes practiced, and you have some remnants of that coming through. But most of the people are basically plugged into the system, if you want. Okay, and basically, what is enlightenment? Enlightenment, okay, in a sense, is one way of seeing it. We have Buddhas that are enlightened. Okay, we have Shris that are enlightened. We have enlightened masters, if you want to call them that way, in different traditions. Okay, we could have enlightened saints. Okay, we can have different enlightened people. Okay, so they had an experience. They have their enlightened symbol. Okay. On the vibrationary field, they became enlightened and experienced to their extent of enlightenment. Okay, so you can ask, what is enlightenment for? Why does enlightenment exist? Okay, within the system, what's the purpose of it? Okay, one of the purposes is basically to activate. Okay, basically a being. Okay, I understand we're more than the body, okay, as a being. First of all, we exist in multi-lokas that are interconnecting, but we're more than a being, we have the soul and all that too, okay? To activate a being, and basically to basically wake him up. Okay, so that's why you experience everything at the time of enlightenment, okay? Because if you become regularly enlightened, you're experiencing within the Kala Chakra everything that can be experienced potentially. Okay, so you're experiencing many, many, many different things. Okay, depending on the level of your enlightenment. Okay, but your experience is limited to within the Kala Chakra. Okay, because everything that exists within the Kala Chakra, we already know everything that already exists. So now you're being awoken to the truth, basically. Okay, lokas, all that stuff, and that's why within history we have all these texts and all that about people, about lokas and all these different things, and all our traditions and texts, religious texts, from all different traditions, religions, all valid and all providing a different side or perspective of the jewel of the creation of God. Okay. So yeah. So enlightenment, okay? Why do people become enlightened? One of the ways to see it is to basically activate them. Okay, you're becoming enlightened, you're being activated. What are you being activated for? So someone becomes enlightened, they think, okay, now I have to teach, now I have to create a school, now I have to get followers. No, it's nothing like that. What you're getting activated for, basically, is you're getting activated for activated within usually you operate within your known space within the Kala Chakra. Okay, you're developed and developed territories, basically, because you have undeveloped territories. Okay, so basically you operate within your known space, and then you're activated. So then once you're activated, okay, now you know the truth of stuff. Okay, and depending on the level of degree of your understanding. Okay, and then from there, what was the peace? The peace is, well, okay, yes, you can attempt to join the chain of infinity, right? And then you can attempt to reach the center of the Kala chakra. So you're awoken up. So you're like an activated cube. I've talked about how we exist in our cubes in the Kala chakra as systems, okay, that we basically navigate. Our space that contains us, our container, okay, and we're right in containers and information, okay. So basically, um, enlightenment is an activation. Okay, you're activated as a symbol. Okay, and as a symbol at that point, then it becomes basically as another thing that you see that I saw at Enlightenment. Then it becomes who who reaches the center of the Kala chakra first, who reaches it second, who reaches it third, and this measure of calculation calculates and basically is basically the calculation that's defined by the equation that governs the Kala chakra, right? That is a proven valid equation that has been calculated. So now it's basically, it's just the revalidation of the equation. Okay. So why do people become enlightened? Because once they become enlightened, then they know to go to the center of the Kala chakra. Okay. On this channel here, we talked about going to the center of the Kala chakra, right? But we also talked about becoming enlightened first. Okay, getting that understanding that you'll need to navigate. It's difficult enough to navigate having seen it. Okay, because you have to do the manifestation in the physical as well as experience. If you know, if you're not enlightened yet, you can try to follow these steps, and hey, post your results in the comments. All right. So what do we get? What do we get activated for? We get activated basically as a system, okay, that has developed, okay, grown spiritually, that gets activated, right? So activated as an energy source, as an energy hub, right? And basically that's why the light goes on. You're an energy source now. You're an energy hub, you know. And basically you're activated at all times, and then basically with that activation comes the knowledge essentially of how things work, the knowledge to get to the center of the Kala chakra. Okay, in my case, enlightenment, getting to the center of the Kala chakra, at least in the experience of it, all happened at the same time. Boom, 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 boom. It was one step. I just never stopped just going through all the steps, right? Becoming all pervading. Right? So that's how that was. So get enlightened. There you go. So yeah, so you get activated basically for the journey to the center of the Kala chakra. Okay. Activated also at enlightenment for within the Kala chakra, having your flags now put at different doors, or right? Because within, look at it this way: the systems you basically many different systems you and use the Kala chakra, but we've talked about the Kala chakra mandala, how you have different flags or colors that are color coded to doors, and you can only take specific exit points out of a tunnel, turns, if you will, in a certain direction if you're color coded to that color. Okay, and some of them are color coded only to the black color, which is basically administrator access, which is also at every single door. So lots of information, and I do invite you to take a look at other videos on this channel where I've talked about this a little bit further. So why do people become enlightened? Okay, basically the enlightenment is an activation within the system. It's your awakening basically within the system. You're activating. Okay, you were on a path. You knew some things before, and then all of a sudden, after enlightenment, you know a lot more. Okay, so at that point, I do invite you to share your enlightenment, to manifest it into the physical. So there's the actually enlightenment, but it doesn't stop at enlightenment. You can't take a break if it was too intense, all that. But eventually, you do want to manifest that in the physical, because it's the manifesting in the physical that'll advance your practice. That's the actual practice that should follow the enlightenment. And by manifesting it in the physical, that practice will lead you to the journey to the center of the Kala chakra. Okay, so thanks for listening, and always a pleasure. Have a great day.